Hi guys, it's Sherry here. Today I'm going to show you how to make some pens that are covered with polymer clay. And here are some examples. I decided that I'm going to use these canes today. So we have a skull, and then I chose a couple flowers to put on there that I felt like would look very nicely with them. We're going to start with a normal everyday Bic pen. All right, so let's take that off. Get a pair of pliers and take the ink out, okay? Oops. Then we're going to put that off to the side. Now we just have the shell of the pen left, and we are going to take this and kind of get an idea. Nothing has to be perfect, because as we move further into it, you'll see how the clay spreads. So first we want to cut, make some nice edges. And what I like to do is actually use the big part and as an imprint to kind of give me a general idea. I'm actually going to make enough for 2 pens today. So the trick to do that is you're going to follow along. There would be one imprint there to kind of give me an idea. And there's going to be another imprint. So right here would be 1 pen and 2 pens. But I'm going to give myself just a little bit more room here. So we're going to cut right before that 3rd Bic line, okay? And now we remove, oops, I'm sorry. That didn't cut all the way through. There we go. We're going to remove that, put that off to the side. And we're going to clean this area up just a tad bit. I'm trying to be careful I don't hit. I have so much cane over here, so I'm trying to be careful I don't go cutting that up. Normally I have much more room. Now, you'll see it's a little short, but it's going to stretch, okay? So when you cut your cane, make sure you're cutting it very thin, because we're going to try to flatten these out the best that we can. I like to do it this way when I'm placing it on, because this way I kind of have a general idea how it's going to look when the pen is standing up. I ended up doing multiple sizes of the skulls just because I like things different. So just sit there and place everything on your clay. Have some fun with it. Nothing has to be perfect. Please remember that. The whole purpose of doing this, in my opinion, is to have fun with it. Oops. Well, you want to stay there? You can stay there. And here's another little tiny guy. We'll put you up here. Some of these got all crazy looking when I was trying to make them smaller, but we're still going to use them because I don't like to waste my clay. All right. Now, let's move over to some flowers. Just place them wherever you like. Try to fill in the spots. Oops. There we go. I like to also put different ones all over so that when the clay is on the pen, you don't have a bunch of the same flowers all over in the same area. Sometimes it happens, but If you can avoid it, why not? You'll also take notice that I like to use the canes that have translucent clay around them. That's so when you bake it, it's actually going to be see-through, so it's going to blend in beautifully with the clay. And just keep covering it. Oops, see, I don't want that one there. I'm going to put him over there. Go over there. Put one there. Most likely we will have some extra clay left over, and you could use that for another project if you like. A lot of times I'll save my clay that I don't use and come up with a new project for them. There we go. We're going to add another, oh, let's put him right there. That was a little fat one, so we're going to mush him a little bit more. Yeah, sometimes you could even put the flowers on top of each other if you like where they're touching. And you just keep going. We'll make you there. Add one there. Let's put you right there. Oops, he's stuck to my finger. Get off. There we go. It looks like I'm probably gonna have to cut some more. Yes, I am. Okay. So let's take a little bit of this one. Let's move everything out of the way. Remember, when you're slicing it, try to slice it thin. We're going to end up putting this through a pasta machine to make it even more manageable around the cane, or around the pen, I'm sorry. Let's do some purple. What I like about this is when I know I'm going to make multiples of the same pen, when you make one big one right away, it just makes it easier, so you don't have to continually cut the same things over and over and over, because you'll have it already done. Let's put you off to the side, and I need this little guy to fill in some. Another little trick is if you can roll it while you're cutting, sometimes it makes it easier. There we go. And we'll put one here, and I need one more there. So let's go with, actually we're going to go with a piece of skull. Okay. Alrighty. Now, move everything out of your way. Let's put this right over that hole. I take a little silicone mat here, that kind of broke apart as I've been using it over and over and over the past 2 years. And I just press down. You could use a piece of paper, you could use saran wrap, whatever you have handy. And then I take, don't mind my roller, I know it's dirty. I take this and I just roll it a little bit flat before I put it into my pasta machine. Make sure everything sticks nicely on there. Okay. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this through my pasta machine, and I will be right back. Okay, so now we have this. You'll see there's cracks in here, and that's okay, because as we roll out, and you'll see, as we roll out this clay onto the pen, it's actually going to reseal itself. Doing it this way makes everything kind of longer and stretched more, so we'll have more room for our pen. Oops, so we're going to flip it upside down. Now we're going to, where did I put my pen? Oh, right here. Take the pen, cut a straight line, and put this up, and start pressing it on here. You don't have to worry about doing it too tight yet. I'm going to try to make a little line, so there we go. So you'll see the line here, and we're going to cut that. So here, now we just press everything together. We want to make sure the edges are binded. Okay, I'm going to grab a second pen. It looks like I may possibly have enough for 3 pens. We will see. I'm going to take this ink out as well. And do the same exact thing. Yes, we definitely will have enough for 3 pens. So I got my mark. And cut that. Oops, that was a little crooked. So if you do happen to do that, see how now it's going to kind of overlay? We're just going to lay it flat and make sure we trim that, because we don't want to overlay there. There we go. And like I said, don't worry about all these cracks that you see, because they will be sealed up. Nothing has to be perfect right now. It's all fixable. And since I have enough for another one, I'm going to do one more pen right away. Okay. Well, let's see if we can, wait, we're going to put the bic there. And we're going to fold this over. And get rid of that. Okay, put that off to the side. And I can take off a little bit more. There we go. Okay. So now let's press that all in there. Okay, so now this is where we're able to fix everything. Start rolling. And all that clay that you are rolling is going to bind together, fill in the cracks, and make a nice smooth pen. Doing it this way by rolling not only makes it smooth, but helps keep it where you're not going to have a bulky pen. You're going to have a nice smooth pen with very little clay on it. This way it's easier to write with, it's easier to hold on to, and it just looks nicer. So we want to keep doing that. And you can see it's all, there is a big gap right there, and it's starting to blend very nicely together. I'm going to put a little pressure on this because as we're rolling, we're going to want to go side to side so we could get that clay up onto the pen that did not 100% reach. Another thing that I really like about doing it this way is that you're not wasting a lot of clay. You're using every bit of it up that you can. Okay, so you see how there's no cracks. Everything is smooth and put together nicely. So now we're going to go to the very top here. There's just enough here where we could pull it up and blend it all together to seal it. You don't want a big bulky top because it just doesn't look pretty. You want to try to keep it very smooth and flat. You just kind of work that together till it's 100% sealed. You could really play around with all kinds of different canes when it comes to these pens. Do different styles. You could add things to them if you wanted to, more detail. You can even, sometimes you can even put something on the top as like a little figure or something like that if you really wanted to. So now you'll see this is loose here, which is fine, but it's almost too much clay. So I like to feel the very tip of it, and then I'll just go around very slowly and take that off. Now you'll see I have like maybe a centimeter or two, and I'm going to actually start pulling that up. This way you have a nice thinness to it, and it stays there very nicely, and you just work that as well. I got clay underneath my nail, sorry. So, okay, that one is done, and it doesn't take very long. And it's got a little bump in it. If you do happen to get an air pocket, you could just put a little slice into the clay and then re-roll it to get that air pocket out. Now we're going to go on to this one and do the same thing. Remember, roll and push outwards that way if you need more clay, or roll and push this way if you need more clay that way. So check for any cracks. There's a little one right there. Just re-roll it. And that looks pretty good. Okay. Now I'm going to take it. Remember, pull up if you need extra, and then blend together so that little hole is sealed and the top of the pen is covered. Okay. There we go. Now this side, it's all crumbly kind of thing. So just feel the tip, go around, cut that off. And this one, I took a little too much off, but that's okay, because we can pull it and stretch the clay up to the very top. And remember, you see all that clear, it almost looks white right now. That's all gonna blend in really nice when we bake it. Okay. And the last one, do the same exact thing. This one, you see how we're missing a piece of clay there? That's okay. We're gonna make sure we have enough there. Oh, okay, so now here's a perfect example. You see how that got all bundled up like that? We are actually going to take it, push, and pull it. Okay. These pens are very fixable. I just hate when I start a project and something stretches or pulls or gets a hole in it, and then it's kind of like, oh, I'm doomed because it's not fixable. But with these pens, everything really is almost manageable. Okay. So now this is all nice and flat because we rolled it, and I don't like all that extra there. So I'm actually going to chop it, and now I'm going to pull it like I did the rest. Don't pull too much from here. You want to stay at the top, so this way everything blends in and you're not having a streaky looking cane, because you definitely don't want your cane work being destroyed by pulling it too much. I mean, you'll have abstract looking canes, but if I were to continue to pull this, all of it would get smeared and mushed up and it would just look silly. So now let's take this once again. We're going to get rid of that extra and then mush it together and pull up very slowly so you're not breaking it too much. There we go. Let me get all this out of the way. One trick, if you're worried about fingerprints being all over and you don't have sandpaper to do a quick buffing job, you could go and rub your finger up and down to get any fingerprints off. And that will give you more of a smooth look. So I like to do this with each one of my pens. Okay. And then, plus doing this allows you to feel if there's any imperfections that you may have missed. Okay. So now I'm going to stick these in the toaster oven for an hour at the recommended temperature. and then I will be back to show you what's next. Okay guys, so everything is baked and out of the toaster oven, and here are the 3 pens. So here you can see the translucent clay has blended very well with the black clay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Squilby Gloss Glaze. I'm going to put on an old tile that I have here. And take my paintbrush, kind of just swirl it around a little bit. I like to have one of these, or you can basically take anything, and I'm going to stick it inside the pen. So this way, when I glaze everything, I'm not getting it all over my hands. So just go around the pen, make sure you get every area. And I like to use this product because it only takes maybe about 10 minutes to completely dry. Okay. And you don't even have to do this. You can leave it the way that it is and just use the pen. So I'm going to actually set this one to the side to dry. I'm going to put it up on a little stand that I have over here. And I'm going to show you a finished one that I have that's already glossed. So you can see how shiny it is. So to finish it, if you choose not to have it shiny and you just want to leave it the way it is, you'll take your ink and just insert it back in and push it in, and that's it. And the nice thing about these is when the ink does run out, you just pop it right back out and put a new one in. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy and have lots of fun making your own pens. Thanks guys, and see you next time.